Hello, everybody. This is Rebecca here with the new moon forecast for the Deep Earth Singing Moon community. And I'm a little bit late with it, but nonetheless here. And I have drawn the runes for us, and so we'll see what's coming. I'm just going to start at the base and the root, which is again this kind of it's the subconscious mind, but it's also the energy that is just flowing underneath the surface, both individually and collectively, during this time. And the rune that we have is Thurisaz. And there's a real sense of anger and danger, chaos, forces of chaos running underneath the surface in this time. And I think, many of us have been aware of this. Many of us have been feeling this, these things bubbling up. And so in this month to come, that piece is not going to change. That feeling of anger and chaos, those combinations of energies are very much still there. But also with this rune, there comes a feeling of the fact that these energies bring us the possibility of breakthrough. These are the things that bring us to the place of real breakthrough and real change. So the experiencing of these underneath the surface is bringing movement, however difficult or unpleasant those things may feel. And I think a lot of people maybe are feeling these things in their bodies or in their dreams or in, just all of these ways that are just on the edge of conscious awareness. And maybe things are being manifested in actions or interactions or behaviors, but it's very much the feeling of the thing that is underneath the surface and that's running through. And so we'll go back now to the beginning. Normally I pick 5 runes for this new moon forecast, but this time, there was a 6th one that came, and it's the rune Kinaz. And this is another rune of fire. And I'm being reminded of the blacksmith. The blacksmith that pounds the iron on the anvil and shapes it into tools with his creativity, shapes it into whatever it is that he desires. And so that is also the invitation of this month, to work with this energy of fire, to shape and to bring things into being, the things that you are called to, the things that you wish to bring through, the things that you wish to create. There's a lot of energy and power in that creativity, and in that heat of that fire that pushes us forward. So, kind of coming to the recent past and what's moving away, we have the rune Laguz. I believe that's what we've got. Yes, just double checking. We have Laguz. It was the time in this recent past to be gathering up the stuff of weird, gathering up the fibers, choosing them, selecting them, preparing them for the spinning and the creation of those threads. But that time is passing away now, and now we're being invited to take action with whatever it is that we have gathered. You know, that time for gathering is done. The time for moving now and for using the things that we've gathered is coming in. And I'm being reminded again of Thurisaz there, and being reminded that I believe it was the last reading, that there was this invitation to look into the gifts of shadow and to bring those out, bring those forward, spin the strength of those experiences into your threads and to make them a part of your creation. Because that's where the real strength comes from, is from those pieces of darker experience, when we dip into those and shift through them, sort through them, and bring into the light, into the very fibers that we are creating, or into the metal. It's what gives strength. It's what gives strength. So remembering that as it comes. And Thurisaz is still wanting to speak. What I'm seeing is Thurisaz transforming itself into Tewaz. From the anvil to the spear. And I just leave you with that. And see if it's going to let me go on. Yeah. So at the center, we have Perthro. But Perthro this time is facing downwards, like the cup spilled out. And the question is, what happens when you feel like the game is lost? What do you do then? What strength do you call on? What changes, do you make within your life and within yourself? And I'm seeing Perthro almost as a cup, that's not only spilled out, but that we can take it downwards and scoop up the things that are lying underneath. Some of those subconscious flow, some of what is in those waters. What will you gather to your heart? And say, by this you are known. By this you are known. And I'm taken to the last rune, which is the rune I was. Which is, again, both a symbol of protection and also of initiation. And it is another fiery rune. And the message that I'm getting from this is it's all of this, all that we've seen so far, it's just taking us to another point where there is opportunity for breakthrough. And it's so much about scooping down into that subconscious, into what we're holding, in those depths, in our own anger, in our own chaotic realms. What is there? What is there that still needs to be retrieved? What is there that still needs to be worked through and worked with? And that's very much the invitation of this time. And that brings us to the very last rune, which was at the top in the conscious mindset. I seem to have a baby waking up. And we have the rune Gebo there. We have the rune Gebo. And a real invitation to, hold on, let's see if I can get him to come a bit closer. Come here, baby. Come here. Okay. Come here, lovely. Oops. Okay. So, with Gebo, what I'm feeling is a real invitation to take this time as a gift. That there is an exchange going on, an exchange of power for power, and that although it can feel like we are often facing places of loss, that these things are in reality, returning us to a truer version of ourselves. And so to really trust that process and invite it in, and see what you can do with it in this time. Again, I'm being reminded of that rune Kinaz, and seeing each of us, with these very creative, fiery hands, and what is it that, that you'll shape? What is it that you are being called to create? What is it that you are creating in this time? So those are the questions and the invitations and the images for this month and this new moon reading for May 2016.